Welcome all of you. In this video lecture, we will understand about meiosis. The somatic or body cells in multicellular animals have as a rule, we can say a diploid or double number of chromosomes. That is, every kind of chromosomes in the set is represented by a pair of chromosomes, of which one is derived from the male parent and the other from the female parent. The total number is therefore an even one. For example, 46 in man, 40 in mouse, 38 in cat. The two chromosomes of each pair are called homologous chromosomes since they are genetically identical. The haploid number of chromosome is found in the gametes of animals and is half the number of somatic cells. That is 23 in man, 20 in mouse, 19 in cat, and so on. Haploid cells containing only one representative of each type of chromosomes instead of a pair. During sexual reproduction, at fertilization, when male and female haploid gametes unite, the diploid number of the chromosome is restored in the zygote, which develops to form the somatic cells, and the cycle goes on. So, meiosis is a universal process in sexual reproduction of animals. In it, by a series of two divisions, that is the reductional division and the equational division, the number of chromosomes is reduced by half, a process that gives rise to 4 haploid cells. So meiosis is that type of cell division which give rise to haploid cells. Usually one cell gives rise to 4 haploid cells. Meiosis includes 3 essential processes. The first process, that is reduction in the number of chromosomes. Second one, crossing over or recombination with interchange of chromosomal segment. And third one, random assortment of homologous chromosomes. In this video lecture, we will focus about the process of meiosis. Each cell cycle starts with interphase, that is G1 phase, in which the cell prepares proteins and substances essential for the cell division. Then comes the S phase, in which the DNA gets doubled, or it is known as synthesis phase, and thereafter comes the G2 phase. It is also the secretory phase of the cell cycle. Together, G1 phase, S phase, and G2 phase are known as interphase. And after interphase comes the M phase. We will discuss the M phase of meiosis. Actually, the M phase of meiosis consists of two phases, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, and it is very much complicated. Meiosis 1 again consists of 4 phases: prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, and telophase 1. On the other hand, meiosis 2, that is the second part of meiosis, consists of prophase 2, anaphase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, and telophase 2. Let us understand each of them one by one. The first phase is prophase 1. It is the longest phase of meiosis and may be measured in weeks or months or even longer. In human female, it persists in each primary oocyte from a fetal stage of 12 to 16 weeks until ovulation, generally once each 28 days after sexual maturity. Some human oocytes therefore persist in arrested prophase 1 until the end of reproductive cycle at menopause. Prophase 1 too includes 5 substages. The first substage is leptotin, then zygotin, then packitine, afterward diplotin, and lastly dikinesis. I have made a separate video lecture on prophase 1 because this is the most important and longer phase of meiosis 1. So I hope and request you to watch prophase 1, which I have made a separate video lecture. So in this video lecture, we will understand only the gist of prophase 1 of meiosis 1. The prophase 1 of meiosis 1 is characterized by the disappearance of nuclear envelope, appearance or emergence of centrioles which is moving towards the opposite poles, and formation of chiasmata and crossing over along with recombination. So these are the characteristics of prophase 1. What are these terms and what are the details of these terms? You can watch in the video specially made upon prophase 1. So after prophase 1 comes the metaphase 1. In metaphase 1, the chromosomes align at the equatorial plate. Okay, in metaphase 1, the arrival of synapse chromosome pairs at the equator of spindle begins. The spindle microtubules becomes attached to the kinetochores. Each homologous is being attached to one of the poles by the homologous kinetochores. Thus, the two sister chromatids behave as a functional unit. Meiotic metaphase 1 can be distinguished by the fact that the homologs are still attached by chiasmata. See clearly, the homologs are still attached by the chiasmata here. Okay. While the kinetochores are being pulled towards the poles. After that comes the stage of anaphase 1. During this phase, the actual disjunction occurs. That is, the partners of homologous chromosomes completely separate from each other. See, in anaphase, the partners of homologous chromosomes, the blue one, the red one, they completely separate. But this is different from that of meiosis because here crossing over and recombination has taken place. Okay. In anaphase 1 also, the centromeres that hold the chromatids together in each chromosome do not divide as they do in mitosis. So the pair of chromatids of each chromosome move together and do not separate. See, the chromatid is not separating and the centromere remain intact. Okay, so these are the differences. Mark the differences between the anaphase and metaphase 1 of meiosis 1 and that of normal mitosis. After that, telophase 1 occurs. The arrival of chromosome at the poles of the spindle signals the end of anaphase 1 and the beginning of telophase 1. During this phase, the chromosomes may persist for a long time in condensed state. The nucleolus and nuclear membrane are also start forming. See in the figure, the nuclear membrane starts reforming, and at each pole a nucleus is reformed, but these nuclei are haploid. Okay, these are haploid nuclei having a double amount of DNA and stones. Each contain one chromosome from each homologous pair. From a homologous pair, only one enters each nucleus of the daughter cell. So here the number reduces, the 2n reduces to nn. That's why this is known as the reductional division or reductional phase of the meiosis. Now, after telophase 1, no interphase is going to occur. Okay, these two daughter cells immediately undergoes the next mitotic phase, which is equal to mitosis, or that's why it is known as equational or equatorial division, equational division. It also consists of 4 phases: prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, telophase 2, because it is the meiosis 2. See, meiosis is divided into 2 phases: meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Meiosis 1 consists of these 4 phases, meiosis 2 consists of these 4 phases. Okay. In meiosis 2, what happens? One thing you have to notice that nuclear division is usually followed by cytokinesis, resulting in 2 daughter cells, which in animals are called as secondary spermatocyte, because meiosis usually takes place in germinal cells, and secondary oocytes in females. During the short interphase between meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, there is no replication of chromosome, a situation different from that of the mitosis. That's why I have told you that they immediately undergoes mitosis. Okay. In meiosis 2, each haploid daughter cells resulting from the first meiotic division now divides mitotically to give rise to the 2 haploid daughter cells. Meiosis 2 includes the following 4 steps: prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, and telophase 2. Prophase 2 is generally short and superficially resembles mitotic prophase, except that sister chromatids of each chromosome are usually widely divergent, exhibiting no relational coiling. So during prophase 2, the centrioles duplicates and migrates towards the opposite poles. Each set of centrioles is surrounded by asterase, nuclear envelope, and nucleolus disappears. Metaphase 2, in metaphase 2, both daughter cells, in both the daughter cells, a spindle is formed, which is generally oriented at right angles to the first division spindle. See, in the first division, the plane is vertical, and in the second, this one is horizontal. So generally, there occurs a relation of right angles between the planes of meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Nuclear envelope uh, already has disappeared in prophase 2. So in metaphase, it is generally characterized by arrangement of the chromosome at equatorial plane. Then after comes the anaphase 2. Kinetochores of each centromere separate and the sister chromatids of metaphase 2 moves uh, towards opposite poles as daughter chromosomes are similar to their movements in mitosis. The arrival at the opposite poles marks the end of this phase. So you can see that these all phases correspond to mitosis. Ultimately, the telophase 2 came.